Hey everybody, Megan Caffrey here, checking in from our Big East studios in New York City with our very last regular season fast break. And that means that a week from now, we will be at Mohegan Sun Arena gearing up for the Big East women's basketball tournament. I absolutely cannot wait. But first, let's get down to business. Today, we'll talk a little bit about what the tournament is starting to pan out to look like. We'll also highlight DePaul's Aneesah Morrow. But first, we start by looking back at this past weekend where it was a battle between the top two teams in league standings as Villanova hosted UConn Saturday afternoon in front of a sellout crowd at the Finneran Pavilion. And this one was a battle. It was UConn who came out hot, shooting just over 64% in the first quarter. But then Villanova's Maddie Siegrist started to get cooking a little bit in the second. She did finish with 21 points. UConn was up by just 28-26 at the halftime break. And Nova was able to keep it close to start the second half, but the Huskies did go on an 8-1 run to start the fourth quarter. You better believe that Villanova had a little run in them as well to close the gap back to 2, a nice little 10-0 run to be exact for themselves. The Huskies did continue to work through injuries this week as Dorka Juhas sprained her ankle the day before in practice, but she was huge for the Huskies, finishing with 13 points and 14 rebounds as UConn won this one 60-51. A huge win for the Huskies as it gave them now a 2-game lead with 3 games left to play in the regular season. Head coach Gino Auriemma saying after, "It's just breathing room." One of those 3 games will be against DePaul, who has this week's Big East Player of the Week in Aneesah Morrow, after Morrow had 3 straight double-doubles, scoring 20-plus points in all 3 games this past week. The big night for her came against Saturday, where she scored 31 points and 22 rebounds against Providence. Now, she also is receiving national recognition as her 25.5 points per game has her 4th nationally in scoring. Now let's take a look at the current league standings as of Monday as we are winding down the regular season. It is UConn on top to lead the pack at 16-1 in Big East play. Villanova right behind them at 14-3. Now you have to remember the top 5 teams in the standings do earn a first round bye in the Big East tournament. And so far, UConn, Villanova, and Creighton have all secured those. The only seed that is locked in for the moment for the tournament is Xavier as the number 11 seed. So that does mean the Musketeers will play in the first round of the tournament, taking on the number 6 seed. Now, we do have some big games on tap for this week, with that race to finish as one of the top 5 teams continues. Throughout this month, the Big East Conference has been celebrating Black History Month by partnering with the Black Fives. As part of this celebration, teams have been playing in games to honor African American teams, coaches, athletes, and communities that have all played an important part in America's basketball history. Here's a little more.
Women's teams were always part of the picture. They started playing each other. And they started to realize that just like the men who were making money, they could advertise in newspapers and double headers with music and a band, and they had just as much excitement and attendance. It was socially meaningful. These events were not just a game and then leave town. It was an opportunity for somebody from Washington, D.C. to learn what was going on in Brooklyn. This was the first level of social networking that took place. For more information on this history, visit us at blackfives.org.
Let's take a look at the games on tap for tonight as UConn hosts St. John's. The Johnnies looking to bounce back after dropping their last 2 games. And you do have to remember St. John's has a lot to play for tonight, looking to be one of those to secure a first round bye in the tournament. Also tonight, Villanova hosts Aneesah Morrow and the DePaul Blue Demons. And then we have plenty of hoops ahead for this weekend, including UConn hosting DePaul on the Fox Broadcast Network. Tip-off for that one is Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. The regular season does wrap up on Monday with 5 games, including an FS1 doubleheader starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time as Seton Hall plays host to Villanova. The nightcap coming at 9 p.m. Eastern Time with the fun rivalry of DePaul and Marquette. Be sure you're following us at Big East WBB on Twitter for all of the highlights and the most up-to-date. Less than a week away from Mohegan Sun Arena. Tournament time is coming closer and closer. It's always so much fun at Mohegan Sun. If you haven't already gotten some tickets, what are you waiting for? There's plenty of time. Come join us. We will be live with Fast Break from the floor of Mohegan Sun Arena next week. We can't wait to see you then. We got plenty of hoops before then. We'll see you next week at Mohegan Sun.